You too. There we are. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
What was it like to take an Asian icon like Long Chu-ai, who's considered the Cary Grant of Asia, and put him in this very, very ugly character in this mean role?
Speaking of Cary Grant, I think the movie is the reverse side of Notorious. It's challenging and very interesting. Tony, I want to work in for so long. I'm happy that at least I have a role that he's acted right. A great actor is a great actor. It's a great honor for me to change his direction at this part of his career.
Was there any hesitation in casting him?
No. Great seeing anybody play traitor so well in our Chinese film history. He's just a great actor. No, after a while, I said to him, "Look, you're such a great actor. If I don't torture you, I don't do you justice." He was like, "Yeah." You've seen the movie. He's something else from what he used to be. I only allow one shot that he does his old Tony stuff is when she let him go. She look her in the eyes. So, okay, there's only one shot. Let's have the old Tony back.
What was the process of getting everyone involved into it?
Everyone, there's only two of them.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. And myself, getting into it. I think if I tell them, look, before we get on board, let's make it clear this is where we go, how deep we involve in the playing of those characters, how much we're willing to do the ultimate performance, which in some ways is what the movie's about. So it sort of comes naturally, and each day I push a little bit, both acting and drama in my revision of script writing, in the way I'm making movie, in relationship with why don't we go all the way? And they're like, okay, whatever you say. But still, the first couple of days was rough. It was torturous for, in a weird way, more for me and Tony than for her. I was just hoping that since it's her first movie, maybe all movies. After a while, we were in a zone. It's like hell, but it's the ultimate state of acting, which we all feel privileged that we can make the movie. It's not like it happened a lot.
How and why did you come to select Miss Tang for?
Yeah, I don't see anybody that's known
Right.
that fits the part, in my opinion. We got her over 10,000 actresses trying out. So I didn't see all 10,000. The assistant directors, they do the casting job, and the men shoot more than 1,000, and then it gets down to me. And Tang Wei strikes me as somebody who's right for the part. I believe such a story is on her show that happened to her. She gave the best reading, and she has a disposition that reminds me of my parents' generation. Wang Jiazi is the main character, the woman in the story. By pretending and playing, you actually touch the true self. So I myself is the part, and I see her very much like the female of me, so to speak. I just very much identify. It's a feeling that she is abstract, but it's a feeling. Sometimes you feel that way about somebody.
Had you known the short story or the novella for a long time, or how?
No, once I developed, I was already quite a ways into finishing Brokeback Mountain. I know the material for years. This comes from a writer that we most revered and beloved, but this one's sounds like her other stories. It's obscure. Right? Not many people read about it. She took a female sexualities view to that's pretty scary to me. When you first read it, it was like, whoa. And then it just kept coming back. As I pointed out before, I very much identify with the character myself. So it's a haunting material for me for years.
James Shamus, like, do they usually pick out the material that they want to adapt, or do you say, okay, here's a story that I really like? And
They pitch me sometimes. For this particular project, I pitched them. I had it translated, and I feel like doing it in translation. I just pay somebody to translate, right? Rough translations. What I think I feel like making this after Brokeback, and he read it, and it was very encouraging. It was great. It's something very special. I don't know what it is, but I think it'd be great doing it. But it's scary, but it's, that sort of thing.
I understand, like, he wrote your Father Knows Best.
He touched all my script.
Uh-huh.
If not solely writing, he'll rewrite.
So
Wang Huiling, it's the third time I work with her in collaborate with James. I feel bad to say that the Chinese writer is not up to the scale. All of them in my particular world cinema, like the cinema view by the things I want to do. They have their strength, their goodness. Wang Huiling is just about the best screenplay writer I know, and I worked with her before. So for this particular case, I worked with nearly a year. I often know. Think about it, ponder about it. She just did a TV series about the biography of this writer. So she's an expert. She's totally fascinated about that period of time. So she's great collaborator. After a few English and things are missing, and then James and give feedback as a producer, or studio head rather. And then go back and forth a few times. Then finally, he would give notes by writing certain scenes, making certain suggestions.
The success of Brokeback affect the level of autonomy and control that you had over Less Caution?
I always enjoy creative freedom from first movie, even the Hulk. But it helped out in the sense that this is a routine that was never allowed to be made into a movie, both by communist China and nationalist Taiwan, that Wang Jingwei government. And this happened, and it's challenged the patriotism. Economically, Shanghai studio was big support. They built that street for me. I have to dress it, but they built 2 blocks, as I mapped out. A lot of manpower, devotion, first, top of the line. Like for example, my camera crew. No, there are 3-4 key person. They're good cinematographer themselves. One shot internal affair. That's his gaffer. So people wants to work in a movie. Tony would do anything, as you've seen. So I think that Brokeback has effect, but of course that's accumulate.
And do you think that you would have been able to pass it with the NC-17 without resistance from the studio if you hadn't had that success?
It's hard to sell.